Great new day, everybody. Welcome back to all of our regular self-care fam, as well as our new friends that are here today. I'm Shantae, if you don't know, better known as LifeCoach614, and I'm the owner of the Self-Care Club, LLC. I'm excited to have all of you join us today on this new journey into our self-care and well-being. Um, Before we get started, I do want to just go over some boundaries and basics for everyone so you guys know what to expect. Thank you for the gifts. Because it takes a village, I do have admins and moderators placed on both sides of the chat to help us keep things flowing in a peaceful manner. This chat is a safe space for sharing, caring, and embracing your unique self care path. Today, you all can help us by engaging in the conversation, tapping the screen, sharing the live, and just remember to gift with purpose if you are able to do so. Your gift and membership your gifts and membership contributions during the live stream go directly to the Self Care Club LLC, creating a ripple effect for positive change. Your generosity fuels our mission here at the Self Care Club. So, if anyone's looking for more information about what the Self Care Club does, or if you're seeking to book a one on one coaching session with me, visit selfcareclub.org for more details. Now, together, let's commit to keeping our community a positive and uplifting space for everyone. So, if you're ready to begin on this self care adventure, please put some green hearts in the chat for me. And Texas boy, you see, I got my water. The birds is chirping. I got my water. We did the intro like we doing good. So we are still in March, which means we are still in Mind Your Mental March. Hey, Yoli, thank you for the green hearts, Yoli. Thank you for your green hearts, Miss Glow. I see you ready. First Lady, welcome in. Um, so you guys, we are still in March, and that means it's still Mind Your Mental March. We still got us another whole good week of Mind Your Mental March going on. And so all month long, we have had conversations about mindfulness, gratitude, building resilience. Hey, Miss Portia. Um, we've also had, some conversations about like work-life balance and seeking support when needed. So again, I hope that you guys continue to make March an opportunity for you to prioritize your mental health and your overall wellness. So our topic today is change. Change sparks happiness. Can everybody type change sparks happiness in the chat for me? Not one of them. Welcome in. Change sparks happiness. Thank you for the gifts, love. Thank you. I see you, Miss Portia. Number one, period. Thank you. Change sparks happiness. That's our topic today. North side ready. South side. Okay, boom. Y'all ready. Good. I need at least one person to do it. Thank you, not for them. So, when we think about change, right? Change is not just a ripple effect in a pond. It's a powerful force shaping our very existence. We know that sometimes we are a little apprehensive to change, right? That we don't always like change because we get comfortable. But when we think about it, from our very first breath to our very last breath, we are swept and into like a constant dance of transformation, right? Think about when a baby is born. No, let's actually start when that baby gets made. Okay, the process, the chemistry that has to take place for that baby to be made, right? And then the 9 months that it takes for that baby to form and grow on the inside of the mother. Then think about the transformation that has taken place once the baby is delivered, when the baby's born, right? And then those 18 years that pass once that baby is born to now all of a sudden this baby has grown. That little baby boy is now a grown man, right? Thank you so much. Now that little baby boy is a grown man, right? So we've had so much change. And then when we turn 18, we don't stop changing. We don't stop evolving. We continue to grow. The 45-year-old me today, thank you, Kale. The 45-year-old me today is not the same as the 4 or 5-year-old me 40 years ago, right? So, despite its ever present nature, many of us are stubborn to change. Many of us, like I said, are apprehensive to change. Um, but, today I just wanted to think about what if we dared to release our grip, right? Release our grip of being so apprehensive to change. And what if we were to just set sail in these uncharted waters, right? What if we were just to take an adventure and be like, you know what? Change is good. I'm a change. I'm a roll with the changes. I'm a go with this change, right? What if instead of fearing the unfamiliar, we welcomed it? So instead of fearing it, we welcome it, understanding that change is key for our wellness and self discovery. So, by embracing the essence of change, we are able to start to navigate life shifts a little more smoothly. So that way, when life gets to life in and, people switch up and situations shift, we can actually adapt better. It helps us to build our resiliency, because we're like, all right, you know what? I knew things couldn't stay the same forever. I knew life had to change. I knew I had to switch up. I knew I needed to move differently or whatever. And that could be like a loss of relationship, a job, a friendship, the livelihood that you've come to, get used to or accustomed to, right? So, um, once we start to embrace change, it allows us to navigate through life a little easier. It helps us to find joy in new experiences, right? Thank you so much, Miss Portia. Um, so I wanted to break down the word change to give you guys something to think about, because like I said, with all my clients, a lot of things that I talk about, most people are very apprehensive to change. They're like, I don't know, because I got comfortable over the last 30 years. I've been used to this, and I've been used to doing this, and I like where this is going, so I don't want to change. I don't want to switch things up because this is what I know, and I'm scared to do that over there, right? I'm scared to reach out for help. I'm used to having trauma, and people do me wrong, and I'm used to not having boundaries, so I don't want to change because I've gotten comfortable over here in this toxic space. And even though those people who are living happy, healthy relationships over there seem to be enjoying themselves, that makes me a little nervous, so I don't want to do it because I'm comfortable, because now we've gotten comfortable in this level of toxic energy, right? So I wanted to break down the word change and give you guys um, 6 words to think about when we think about change. And we're going to use the letters from change to do so. All right? So I need y'all's help in the chat. When we think about change, the first thing we need to think about is the C, choose. Type choose in the chat for me. Choose. Change often begins with a conscious decision to embrace something different or new. It's about making a choice to step out of your comfort zone and explore possibilities beyond what's familiar, right? So when we think about change, we have to choose to change, right? The H is for harmony. Harmony. Hey, Tamika. Harmony. At the core of every change lies the pursuit of harmony, the alignment of our inner desires and values, and our aspirations with the external world. Change brings harmony. Change brings harmony. And so, with the harmony that we're looking for with change, that fosters a sense of balance. It brings us a sense of peace and coherence for our lives. Rich Risings Perk. Um, Harmony, when we think about change and harmony combined, that allows us to flourish and thrive amidst everything else that's going on in life. So, through all of the transitions, the challenges, change, and us being open to change and willing to change allows us to kind of balance things out. So, when we think about like that scale off balance, change is happening, life is happening, but you know what? We don't have to sit down here and be so low. We could actually get up higher if we just embrace some of the things that are changing and we kind of balance it out. So that's what we're looking for, the harmony, H, harmony. The A in change is for acceptance. Type acceptance in the chat for me. Acceptance. So remember, in order for us to have harmony, we have to accept some things, right? So acceptance. Change becomes smoother when we learn how to accept it rather than resist it. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or approving every single change. It just involves acknowledging the reality of the situation and adapting accordingly. So just because you are open to accept change, it doesn't mean you're going to sway one way or the other. It just means that I recognize there is a need. I recognize that I have reached a crossroads in life. And I could stand here, at the fork in the road and go nowhere. I could do that because I'm comfortable right here. But in order for me to achieve my goals, I know I have to head off in one of these directions. Now, I could turn around and go back and live in this comfortable place. Hey Z, welcome in. Great new day. I could turn around and go backwards because I don't know what's up ahead, and I'm not. I was okay with walking a straight path, but now that you done gave me a decision in life, universe, and I got to choose left or right, I don't want to because I was comfortable with my straight and narrow path, right? So now we have to understand and accept the fact that, you know what, we've been on this straight and narrow path, but now all of a sudden there's a fork in the road. So I accept that I'm going to have to make a decision, left or right. I accept that I could choose left when I should have went right, or vice versa. But I know that either way, the choice is mine. We always talk about what's for me is for me. So if we have the faith in knowing that what's for us is for us, then we have to be able and willing to accept the fact that change is inevitable. Change has to happen in order for us to go somewhere, right? If we want to continue to grow through the things that we're going through, we have to adapt to the changes. Um, but again, it doesn't mean that you're giving up. Just because you decide to, quit fighting this fight, that doesn't mean that you've lost the fight. It just means that sometimes we live to fight another day. So that's when they talk about like picking and choosing our battles, things like that. Um, so again, it's just a matter of acceptance, accepting the fact that change is inevitable, that change has to happen, and just understanding the reality of the actual situation that you're in and just moving accordingly. Thank you for the follow, Danny. So the N in change. N is for new beginnings. Can you guys type new beginnings for me? New beginnings. Change brings opportunities for a fresh start and new beginnings. It allows us to leave behind what no longer serves us and embark on paths that align more closely with our values, goals, and aspirations. Again, change brings opportunities for fresh starts and new beginnings. Fresh starts and new beginnings. So then we've got the G. The G in change is for growth. Growth. Put growth in the chat for me. Rich Rising Shan, welcome in, sister girl. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Growth. Thank you, Yoli. I see you. Thank you, Perk. Change is often accompanied by growth. That is both personal and professional. It challenges us to learn, evolve, and develop new skills, new perspectives, and new insights that contribute to our overall development and well being. Every single thing that we do, it should be to grow us. It should be to evolve us into our, the next phase of our life, our next level, right? We always talk about with our self-care that we want to level up, that we want to be better. I wake up every day wanting to be a better person than I was yesterday. So in order for me to be a better person than I was yesterday and have the aspirations of being an even better person tomorrow, then that means I have to adapt to the change. Sometimes it means that I have to make changes. I need to sit back and reevaluate and say, you know what, yesterday I did this and this didn't really work for me. Rich Rising, she's different. Um, so I might have to say, you know what, that didn't really work out for me too well yesterday. Um, let me shift things a little bit. Let me pivot a little bit differently, right? So I have to be willing to change. The glasses though, you like the you like the glasses today? I was grasping. I was trying to find something that coordinated, and I was like, let's do these ones today. But growth, all right. Just like I changed these glasses up for y'all, we've got to be willing to change in order to grow. Shan said, I'm sorry, so off topic, but the glasses today are giving 3D effects. Listen, cartoon, yes. That's exactly what I thought about when I got these. These are, I forget what they're called, but it definitely had comic in it. So yeah, I'm glad y'all feeling the glasses today. So we got the G for growth, right? Pictionary. Texas boy said Pictionary, y'all. Thank you. Um, so then we have the E in change to finish things off. The E is for evolution. Type evolution in the chat for me, y'all. Evolution. So embracing change is a part of our ongoing evolution as individuals. It's about recognizing that change is inevitable and viewing it as a natural part of life's journey towards becoming the best versions of ourselves. Rich Risings Land, welcome in, sis. So we understand that with change, we know that change is going to bring us opportunities to choose, right? We discussed that. We know that by making the choices as we go through life's journeys, that we're going to find harmony. We're going to find that balance that we needed, right? And acceptance, right? We made the choice. We're finding peace and harmony. Now we have acceptance. We've accepted the fact that life is changing for us, that we're evolving, that we're growing, right? So now we've got these new beginnings, right? We've got a fresh start. It's a great new day for us to try to be a better person than we were yesterday. So what did we fell short yesterday, right? All right, you know what? You cussed them out yesterday. And you was trying not to, be the old you, but you know what? They brought that out of you yesterday. But you know what? It's cool. It's cool. Today's a new day. Great new day. Fresh new start, new beginning. And I'm growing, right? So that shows growth. The fact that I acknowledge that I don't need to be around this group of people because they bring out the worst in me. So you know what? Today, I'm not even gonna go around those people. I'm not gonna go sit in that live stream with that toxic energy. I'm not gonna go deal with Susan in accounting at work because every single day she get on my nerves, right? So I'm growing because I'm starting to recognize what triggers me. I'm starting to recognize what I like, what I don't like. I'm starting to build these boundaries to protect myself because it's not about them, it's about me, right? So I'm growing. I'm growing up now and I'm understanding that my only competition is me versus me, right? So I don't have to compete with everybody else in the world. I don't have to try to be better than the next person, right? Because I'm growing. And all of that shows my evolution. That E that we talked about, evolution. Because I've consciously made this decision to change, I'm evolving. I'm leveling up, right? Because now I'm setting these boundaries and I'm recognizing these triggers. And I'm no longer gravitating towards the dark, cold, negative spaces, right? I'm trying to go over there and hang out with Life Coach with them birds that be chirping. I'm evolving. I'm leveling up, right? Because now I got some cheat codes. Because I know about change. And I understand that if I change what I was doing, and each day I make a point to change into something more, hey, baby, that I'm going to evolve into the best me, the best version of me. And that's going to help me get to that purpose-filled place that I'm looking for, right? So change. That's the whole point for us, is to be able to accept change. Yeah, they real birds. Can y'all hear them that loud? I told y'all the birds is chirping today. No, bruh, they not real. Well, at some point they were real, but they're not really happening here. But listen, I'm gonna give you the vibe, okay? Cause this the peace and positive space. So we got them birds on deck. Anytime you need them, I got you. I'll just push the button. I got you. Sounds on lock. No, they're previously recorded, but yeah. Listen, I can't just snap my fingers and make the birds chirp outside. Sometimes we get, you know, we luck up and we get them. So, but I can snap my fingers and make the birds chirp for y'all. So that's all that matters. So listen, let's talk about unlocking the gates to our personal growth. I am focused. Just look into my eyes. I got you. Unlocking the gates to personal growth. So, when we think about unlocking the gates, picture a seed nestled snugly in the earth. The outer shell is hard, protecting it from the elements. And it's only when that seed cracks open that the little, the little seed that's on the inside of the shell is hold on, what am I trying to say? It's only when you crack that shell open that you expose this little seed on the inside, right? And once that shell cracks open, now all of a sudden the sunlight can reach it, right? Now water is able to reach it. The soil, it's able to be fertilized. All of these things once you crack it open. So once it was still in that hard outer cover, nothing could get to it, which also meant no growth can come from it. But once it's cracked open, now all of a sudden the light gets to come in. It's able to receive water. It's able to be nourished and fertilized, and it's able to change. It is able to then grow, right? So similarly, that's how we have to look at our lives, right? Over time, we've built this wall up around us, because all of the things that we've experienced in life have caused us to create this shell around us. Welcome in, Whitney. And so it's hard for happiness and joy and positivity to get in sometimes because we've built this wall around us. And you know what? Rightfully so, because we haven't we spent too much time not setting boundaries. And so over the years, people have broken away pieces of us and parts of us. And so as we've gotten older and we've started to adapt, we started, embracing change needed to happen. So we began to protect ourselves because we didn't like being hurt. But the thing is, some of us are now blocking our blessings with this protection that we put around ourselves. Like we've locked things down so much that we don't have room for the blessings to come in. We're toting around all of these things. We have like this coat of armor around us, and we're not allowing the blessings to come in. So, when we think about the all that we kind of juggle on a regular basis, we have to start to think, I need to start to be able to open up enough to allow the sunshine in, to allow positive energy in, to allow joy to come to me. Because if I keep being so closed off, how am I going to grow? How am I going to evolve? Right? So when we start to embrace change, we invite the possibility of personal growth into our lives. Um, with each new experience, whether it's exhilarating or challenging, it becomes a part of an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. And a lot of times when you hear self-reflection, you hear growth, you hear evolution, but it always starts with a self-reflection. Means if I want to go somewhere and I want to get something different, I have to be willing to look at where I came from, but I can't stay stuck there, right? So when we think about driving in a car, and I know I've used this for you guys before, some of you have already heard me say this. So let's just imagine you're driving in a car. And you're in a car, and if you're driving, obviously it means you got somewhere to go, right? So we got a plan, we got a goal that we're headed to. But as we're driving in the car, where are your eyes facing? If this is my car, am I driving like this? Nope. Am I driving like this? Nope. Am I just focused right here on my rear view mirror and not seeing what's in front of me? Nope. In order for me to get somewhere, I have to be willing to move forward, right? But what's happening on the right is important because there could be a threat. So I do need to check my side mirror, right? What's happening on the left is also as important. So occasionally I have to check that side mirror. But where does my focus remain? Forward, right? So I see what's happening to the right and I see what's happening to the left. But my number one focus is what's ahead of me. So then let's talk about this rear view mirror right up here, right? This rear view mirror. I can't stay focused. Even though it's in front of me, I can't stay focused on that rear view mirror. But I do need to know if something that's behind me is coming up too quick, right? So when we think about life as a journey, the key thing is for us, eyes forward. Focus on the goal. Focus on where you're going. Check in from time to time to see what's happening to the left and to the right. To the right and to the left. There we go. Check in, right? And don't forget to check that rear view. Because you got to make sure that the things behind you stay behind you. Right? So we need to look up in the rear view from time to time. But we got to keep our eyes forward. Does that make sense for you guys? Everything that's happened to you in the past, everything from yesterday and all the yesterdays before, keep those in your rear view. We acknowledge that it's happened. We know that it's happened. And we know that for some of us, it's still there. For some of us, that object appears a lot closer than what it really is. For some of us, that object is a distant memory, so far gone I can't even see it anymore. And that's all that matters. Rich Rising, Mika Ren. For some of us, some of the trauma and tragedy that we've experienced needs to be so far back that we don't even need to see it anymore. We've gotten through it. Others, we know it's in the trunk. We ain't dropped it off yet, but we know it's in the trunk, and I'm going to deal with what's in the trunk. I'm going to clean the trunk out when I get to where I'm going, but for now, I know it's in the trunk, so I just need to peek in the rear view and make sure that the trunk is still closed. I need to peek in the rear view and make sure that that thing that I locked in the trunk ain't figure out how to climb through the back seat. But at the end of the day, I'm still going somewhere, so I know that I got to keep my eyes on the road. So again, we're aware of our surroundings, we embrace the change, but we never lose focus, which is to keep our eyes forward, to keep going, to keep growing through the things that you're going through. And so when we think about change, we also think about nurturing the resilience. So this is part of what I'm talking about, nurturing the resilience in the face of adversity. When we think about, the water, right? Think of calm waters. When you look out sometimes and you see the ocean, sometimes the water is so calm and so peaceful, right? How often is your life like a calm, peaceful ocean? So when we think about life, we were talking about the water, right? Sometimes we wake up in the morning and our life starts off like still waters. So nice and peaceful and such a beautiful thing. And as the day goes on, the water gets to rocking a little bit more. We start to experience a little more, waves in the water. Or even if we think about it as a flight, most people have taken a flight before. And part of the flight, smooth sailing, no problem. But every now and then you hit an air pocket. And all of a sudden, the you hit that air pocket and now you got turbulence. Now that plane ain't doing this no more, right? That plane is all of a sudden getting a little rocky, getting a little bumpy. But we still make it through. We still arrive at our destination. Thankfully. Right? Thankfully. So we have to start to nurture resilience. In order to maintain these waves of change, right? We've got to build up some strength. And so by embracing change, that fosters resilience by teaching us to adapt to new circumstances with grace and fortitude. We're not going to all of a sudden be like, oh my God, the plane is bumpy. The waves are rocking the boat. Oh my God. Like, no, we don't need to panic. We understand that, with waves comes a little motion in the ocean, right? We understand that with flights, sometimes we hit a little pocket of air. So we're not going to be like, the sky is falling every single time that something happens in our life. I say the sky is falling because, y'all know, again, I was a kindergarten teacher. And one of the books I used to read to the kids, what was the book called? Hold on, y'all. why it just popped in my head and left. Okay, the book was called Henny Penny, y'all. And in this book, um, there was a character who was running around. I was a fire kindergarten teacher, honey. Some of the best years of my life. Um, so the story of Henny Penny starts with an acorn falling down from the tree, and it hit Henny Penny in the head. Henny Penny was a chicken, y'all. So this acorn fell down from the tree, and yeah, that's where they get it from. And so Henny Penny, the acorn falls and it hits Henny Penny in the tree, and Henny Penny loses it. What's up, Slim? And so all of a sudden, Henny Penny is like, goes up to everybody and was like, they talk about Goosey Lucy. So she's like, Goosey Lucy, Goosey Lucy, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. So she like goes around getting everybody all amped up and hyped up. Like, oh my God, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Meanwhile, the sky ain't falling, ain't nothing happened. It was just an acorn that fell from the tree. Like, you was in the wrong place at the wrong time and you got knocked in the head. Like, get over it. You know what I mean? But it teaches, about yeah, it's Chicken Little. Yeah. And so that's all based on the story Henny Penny. It's a folklore. But it was to teach people, about this resilience and about not overreacting. Um, you know what I'm saying? And so that when I think about what we're talking about as far as facing resilience and things like that and doing it with grace, it's a reminder for us to stop and be like, okay, hold on, let me evaluate the circumstances. Something just hit me on the head, and I look up and I don't see nothing else falling. So I don't think the sky is falling, but something definitely just hit me on the head. So let me think about it first. Let me gather my thoughts. Am I okay? I'm okay. I'm alive. I'm still here. Okay, cool. That hurt. I acknowledge that hurt, but I'm okay. So let me look around. Let me see what hit me in the head. Let me look around. See if I can find what hit me in the head. Because I already looked up and I assessed the situation, right? I assessed the situation. So I'm like, okay, cool. The sky is still intact. It ain't falling. Ain't nothing else coming down. Okay. So I'm safe. I'm okay. You're okay. We're okay. So I don't have to go off the deep end and create, a sense of panic. I don't have to tell everybody, oh my God, this is happening. This is where I'm dealing with, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't have to raise a commotion. I can do it with grace. And I can just tell people, hey, you know what? I was just standing right there and something fell and hit me in the head. I don't know what it was, but you might not want to stand there. Maybe just move over a few steps to the left, right? Last time I was here, this is what I experienced. Now it may be a different experience to you, but let me move over here, right? It teaches you how to be graceful, and so and it teaches you how to build that resilience. So when we think about transformation, um, this allows us to instead of resisting the transformation, we start to learn how to navigate it skillfully. We start to adjust our sails, right? When there's too much turbulence in the water or too much turbulence on the plane, the pilot doesn't stay right there in that pocket. What does he do? He either goes a little lower or he goes a little higher. But we're not going to sit right here in this. So when we think about traveling through life and we think about the storms of life, all right, we assess the situation. This is where we are right now. This is where we're trying to go. Now, on this route, or on this trip, I know there's plenty of different routes that I could take. So let me assess the situation. Am I going to take the freeway? Do I want to take the streets? Do I want to take a toll? Instead of driving today, you know what? Am I going to book this flight? Rich Risings, and right? So we start to think about all of these different things, and we start to assess the situation. So then that way we can start to navigate through life skillfully, adjusting as we need to, and embracing the opportunity for the change, embracing this opportunity to have this chance, right? The fact that we're still in our sound right mind and we have the ability to choose is big already, right? So through resilience, we discover that even in our darkest of nights, there is a guiding star to illuminate your path forward. So we don't go all goosey Lucy, the sky is falling, because we know sometimes things fall down, right? We know that sometimes things knock us down, but I got up the last time, I'll get up again. And the beautiful part about it is when I fell down on my back, which meant I was still looking up. Have an amazing day, Slim. I'll catch you later, love. So again, even in our darkest of nights, there is still a guiding star to illuminate us on our path forward. We keep rising up. Um, so then it helps us when we think about change. We cultivate a a mindfulness and a presence. Right, I'm here. And so when we think about living in this fast-paced world, right, everything's always going, constantly moving, moving, moving. Time does not stop. So when we're sick, time don't stop. Time keeps going, even though we got to stop for a second, right? And so sometimes when we think about change, it could be overwhelming because we need to take a beat. We need to take a pause. And if everything is moving around me so fast, how am I supposed to keep up? How can I keep up? How can I keep going, right? So when we start to cultivate this mindfulness and presence, it allows us to say, you know what? I'm right here. And I understand that everything else is moving. Everything is happening so fast. But you know what? I'm right here. And I know that I'm not in competition with everything else. I know it's me versus me. And I know that my feelings are valid. And I know that my feelings matter. So despite everything else going on, everything flying around me so fast, I know that I'm right here. I'm okay. I'm safe. And I get to move at my own pace. Because at the end of the day, no matter how fast or slow things are going, time is constant. Time is consistent. So I can run real fast to get to the finish line, right? But time is time. So if it takes me 30 minutes, it takes me 30 minutes. If it takes me 1 hour, it takes me 1 hour. I can't stop time. I can't change time. The one thing we can't change, time. Even if you listen, you could lie to yourself, you could set your clocks back, you can do all of these different things, but the fact of the matter is time doesn't change, okay? And so we have to get used to practicing mindfulness, things to bring us right back in here to the present. So we're not so focused on, oh my God, what do I got to do? Where I got to go? Where I got to be? Why am I not here yet? Why don't I have this shit? I gotta. Like, we all have this mentality where we just gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. But if we take a moment to bring ourselves right back to this moment, thank you, Luna. Bring ourselves back into this present moment, it allows us to um, it allows us to embrace the change. Like I said, by using mindfulness and presence activities, so that way we start to anchor ourselves in the present moment. So that way, when life gets to life and then everything starts going past us real fast, we anchor ourselves. Meaning, we plant our feet firmly in the dirt to say, you know what, I'm okay. Everybody else might be running forward. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm protected. I'm covered. Um, think about when you plant, it's spring. We're going to go outside. We're going to plant these, different plants and whatever. So when we plant it, you got to plant it firmly in the dirt. If you plant it too deep, you bury it. If you don't plant it deep enough, it doesn't have a foundation. It doesn't have anything to hold it down, right? So we've got to make sure that as we go through life, that our feet are firmly planted. Okay, so then that way, as everything else is going on, we have this anchor to hold us here. We have this constant thing to keep us protected. Shan says, the power of living in the present moment. Amen. Amen. And then look, Texas boy, like, you better preach. Rich Risings, Papa Smurf. And Shay Shay, I see you. So again, by embracing change with a mindfulness and presence, we anchor ourselves in the present moment, savoring the richness of life's ever unfolding tapestry. Instead of being swept away by the currents of anxiety and uncertainty, we learn to ride the waves with serenity. In this way, we cultivate a deeper appreciation for the fleeting beauty of each passing moment, finding solace in the stillness at the heart of the storm. Y'all know, many of you already know, when I was on a cruise, and One morning, every single morning on a cruise, y'all. Anytime I go on vacation with my husband and I'm on a cruise, I wake up super early in the morning to go sit on our balcony because I'm bougie. So I go sit on our private balcony, and I love, love, love to go out there with my beats on, and I listen to the waves. I love to go out there and connect. Like that's my meditation moment, and I go listen to the waves, and I just go have a moment with nature. I have an open conversation with God, right? So on this one particular morning, I'm out there, and it starts off, everything is really beautiful. And all of a sudden, I notice this cloud. And it's this huge cloud that we're coming upon. But everything to the left and to the right is still absolutely crystal clear, beautiful. But there's this storm cloud over the water. And we're headed to this cloud. And so as I'm sitting there and I'm meditating and I'm having this conversation with God, I'm looking at this cloud, y'all. And all of a sudden, I start to have like these tense feelings. I start dredging up all of this mess that was going on in my life. And so mentally at this point, like I'm not okay, y'all. I'm crying, I'm emotional, and I'm focused on this cloud. So I close my eyes, I'm meditating, I'm talking, and when I open my eyes, I see a rainbow coming out the cloud. And all of a sudden, like this pressure, this overwhelming pressure that I felt starts to kind of ease up. It's like the elephant is getting off of my chest for a moment, y'all. So I see this rainbow coming from the cloud. And it's still very much a storm cloud, y'all. I mean, it's a dark storm cloud. Um, but I see this rainbow. And so as I focus on the rainbow and less on the cloud, now I'm able to see it's actually two rainbows. And I'm telling y'all, this is a totally true story. I got the video to prove it. So when I focused on the cloud, I didn't see the rainbow. But when I started focusing on the positive, when I started talking through the emotions that I was going through, and I started I literally, y'all, I was out there talking. I know if my neighbors were on the balcony, they were like, that girl is crazy. I was literally talking out loud about what I was going through, the storm that I was going through, right? So once I got that out and I opened my eyes, I was able to not see the storm cloud. I was able to see the rainbow that came from it. And not one, but two rainbows that came from it. So now I start to smile, right? I feel like a little kid all over again because I'm about to go through this storm cloud, but all I can see now is these rainbows. And then in between the two rainbows, y'all, a water spout comes down, which is a tornado over the water. So I'm literally standing here. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And as I'm headed through this storm, physically through this storm, all of a sudden this tornado comes down over the water. And I watch, panic stricken, can't move. I'm watching this tornado come down. Hey, baby. Oh, and so, okay, picture it. Cloud, two rainbows. Now this tornado coming down through the middle. He in a hurry, bruh. He in a hurry. We gonna let that man go get to work. And so at this point now, all of these feelings and all of these emotions are coming back. Y'all, I'm starting to talk again. But now at this point, y'all, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm out here praying because I'm like, why is the captain of the ship? Like, if I can see it, I know the captain sees it. Why is the captain about to take me through this storm? Why? Like, why is he not? Why are we not turning? Why have we not aborted this mission yet? Because I know he got to see it. I see it, right? I'm trying to figure out Jesus on the main line. Can you tell the captain not to steer this boat through this storm? Because I don't like it. I don't want it, right? But as I keep talking through it, I'm realizing this is like the storm of my life. Now, at this point, I have pounded on the window. I have woken my husband up, and my husband comes out here, and he's thoroughly entertained because he's not looking at it in the level that I am. Because physically, y'all, that was my storm. I was in a space that morning, and, I had to go through that storm. And I had to get to the realization that, you know what, this boat that I'm on right now, the captain was like, honey, we bigger than a storm. This storm ain't nothing to us. But that storm was everything to me in that moment because it represented my life. I saw the beauty and I saw the destruction in it. And it's funny because on on my shoulder here, I have a tattoo. It's an ambigram, which means it's a tattoo that flips one way or the other. So if you look at it from one way, you see one word, and if you flip it over, you see another. And so this way, it says beautiful. But then if you turn it upside down, it says disaster. And that's what that storm represented to me, you guys. Being able to go through that storm. And I'll post the video again for you guys today to see it. And you'll literally see this boat traveling through this storm cloud. And again, everything to the left, crystal clear, beautiful. Everything to the right, crystal clear, beautiful. Behind us, beautiful. But we had to go through that storm. And so, for me, I took that as this is life. And sometimes in life, we have to go through storms. And some storms, sure, we can navigate around them. But at some point, we reach a point in life where we have to just go through the storm. We've got to feel it. And even when I was going through that storm in my life, I acknowledged, you know what, this is happening. This it is what it is, right? But I was still able to find the beauty. So the more I focused on the tornado that came down, the more fearful I felt, the more anxiety, the more nervousness I felt. But when I was able to focus more on the rainbows surrounding it, the beauty surrounding it, or the beauty to the left of me and the right of me, I was able to be calm again. But every time I would look in the middle, in the heart of that storm, I would be nervous. I would be panicked. So sometimes I say we have to step back from the storm that we're going through in life. We have to step back and say, you know what, let me look around me because the world is still a beautiful place. This is just an ugly spot, right? Or when I think about our relationships, you know what? We've had an amazing relationship. We're just going through a rough patch, right? Our jobs, we don't like our jobs, right? You know what? This job is temporary. This job is here for a reason. This isn't it for me. This isn't the last position that I'm going to hold, right? This job is just to support, to pay the bills, to do this, to do that, right? So sometimes when we step back from life and we look at what's changing in our life and we start to see the bigger picture. Remember how when we were at the Museum of Life, y'all, and I said if we stay so close up right here into the picture, all we see is this picture. But sometimes if we just step back, we start to see more, right? We have this peripheral vision that allows us to see what's happening over here and over here. So if we just step back and recognize, you know what, it is a storm. There is a storm in front of me, and right now I'm in the middle of this storm, and all hell is breaking loose, and there are tornadoes and hurricanes and this and that. There is so much happening. And I don't know how I'm going to make it through, but you know what, if I just step back and say, you know what, on the grand scheme of things, when I look at the bigger picture, I know I'm going to make it through. Why? Because I did before. And if I did it before, I could do it again. And I remind myself that the universe is in control, not me. And I remind myself that what's for me is for me. So I don't have to like what's happening. I just have to understand that it's happening. And I have to know that it's happening for me. It's not happening to me. Okay? Our creator didn't wake up this morning and been like, I'm picking on you today. I'm going to make it rain on everybody because this is you. Right? I'm going to make this tornado come down in the water because I got beef with Shantae. No, that's not how it works. I'm going to stir things up because I need to get her attention. And for me, I took it as the universe was like, I'm going to stir things up just enough to get her attention because everybody else on the boat sleep. Don't nobody else care about this. It ain't going to bother the captain. It ain't going to disrupt nobody else's peace. Everybody else, snug as a bug in a rug. But I need to get Shantae's attention because she's looking right now. And she's going through a storm in her life. So let me show her all the beauty that surrounds this storm. Let me keep sending this tornado down and back up to get her attention. So that storm didn't happen to me. That storm happened for me. I survived that storm. And y'all, I physically went through that storm. Came out on top, came out better, with a better understanding of why we have to go through the storms of life sometimes. Rich Risings, KB, welcome in, God's Miracle. So again, that was me having the ability to be mindful, to be present in the moment, to accept the moment. I had to not run around saying, oh my God, we finna go through this storm. It's a tornado. Like, listen, I could have been running through that ship talking about the sky is falling, the sky is falling, and got everybody all worked up. For what? I already knew that God had his hand on it. You see what I'm saying? So I just had to remind myself and be mindful and present in the moment to say it don't matter. God got his hand on it. God got me. So I don't have to worry about that. And then I know that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. God got me. So I'm going to control what I can. But because I'm not the captain of this ship, I've got to, thank you, Yoli. I have to remember that because I'm not the captain of this ship, I have to allow the captain to do his job and I have to do mine. I have to maintain my composure. I got to handle this with grace. I got to not run around screaming, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I just have to embrace it. And, again, that's what, and embracing change with a mindfulness and a presence, understanding where my place is in this, learning my lesson from this. That's, again, the beauty of the mindfulness and the presence, to know that even when you're going through a storm, that you got this. Okay? So then we have, we finish up with embracing change as pathways to wellness, right? Because we're going places and we want this purpose-filled space. We want this purpose-filled place in our life. And so we have to understand that embracing change is our pathway to wellness. That's how we get to where we want to be, y'all. And so when we think about the grand symphony of our existence, change is not a discordant note, but it's the actual melody that animates our life. We need change. Things have to change. Think about the early times. I'm talking about way back, y'all, cavemen, right? Think about times before we had all this technology. So we have to, thank you, KB, we have to, realize that this change is necessary for us to keep growing through things. And so we have to welcome it. We can't, we can't run and hide from it all the time. We have to welcome it. This is happening. Acknowledge it, right? Let the captain be the captain. You just enjoy the ride. So by embracing change with open arms, we unlock the door to a world of infinite possibilities. A world where growth, resilience, and mindfulness converge to create a harmonious tapestry of wellness and self-discovery. So together we can, cast off these shackles of fear, because we know fear, false evidence appearing real. That tornado, that tornado wasn't finna hurt me. I was more powerful than that, right? So that little tornado ain't got nothing on me, right? So I'm gonna take off the shackles of fear and resistance, and you know, feel what I need to feel from it, confess what I need to confess from it, acknowledge what's in the rear view, what's on the two side mirrors, but focus on what's in front of me. When we start to accept this and we start to, take this journey with this transformation with courage and conviction, that allows us to embrace change. So we start to truly come alive. Y'all, for the rest of the day after I went through that storm, y'all, King Kong ain't had nothing on me. Honey, I was ready to take on Denzel in Training Day after I went through that storm, because I was able to recognize, you know what, I have power. I'm just as strong. I am the storm, right? All these things that have happened to me in life, all of these things that have happened to me to try to tear me down and break me, guess what? I'm still here. Like Antoine Fisher, I'm still standing, right? So again, think about how far you've come in life. Think about how much further you want to go in life. And realize that you are stronger than all that you've been through, all that has happened to you. Realize that you have more power than you think. That you have the ability to shift things. You have the ability to start things up. And that, again, your only competition is you. So you only fail if you quit. Otherwise, success is yours. You've already 100% survived every single thing that was meant to destroy you to date. Y'all, I got 45 years of survival stories. 45 years of success. You think I'm about to quit now? I'm not. And ain't. Because I can survive this with no problem. I got this. No problem. So again, change. Change is good. Change brings choices. Change brings harmony, acceptance, new beginnings, growth, evolution. Change looks good on you. All right, so we got it. Change. Change sparks happiness. Type it in the chat again so y'all remember. Change sparks happiness. That was a good one. Thinking about, what is it that we need to change in our life? What's holding us back? Um, because a lot of times we start to feel stuck where we're at, thinking that we can't get somewhere else, and we just have to realize that there are certain things that we are doing to, like I said, block our blessings. Some of us have this exterior surrounding us because life has lifed. You know what I'm saying? Life then happened to us for so long that we just think that, oh, this is all I can get. This is where I'm going to be, and we get comfortable. And so some of us have to, kind of break that shell and allow the sun to come in a little bit, allow a little light into our lives. So I hope that that blesses y'all. I hope that that's good for y'all today. But I do want to say thank you to all of you today for your attention. Thank you for rocking out with me and keeping the conversation going. I do absolutely, positively appreciate all of your presence, all of the gifts that you guys have shared today. Um, you guys are absolutely amazing. So remember that all of your contributions during the live stream go directly to the Self Care Club LLC, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Um, your generosity definitely fuels our mission, you guys. Being here, all that you guys do um, helps me to continue to do all that I do. So I appreciate you guys. Um, and I hope that you guys are able to connect with me again tomorrow. We will be back at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for another Let's Talk About Self